Salam alaikum, alaikum salam, and samira kudare todo. Hope you guys having a great day. Blessing, peace and blessings be to all you guys. Like always, same old thing. Nothing new, just a rainy day. Rainy day in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Another day to put out a short video. This actually is going to be a very short topic on those who have bought the book, The Scrolls of Time, those who are learning this binary system. Just a little bit of advice, that I could see or understand somebody that could be struggling with learning it. It takes time. It's not something you're going to learn from one day to another. The more you study it, the more you involve yourself in it, the more you involve the Inquisitor with it also, it's going to help you get better and better and better as it goes. Every system of divination, whichever one it may be, has taken time to build and has taken those who are very good at it, sometimes even a lifetime, to be able to master it. And even with mastering it, they still continue to learn, because it's an on and ongoing. Evolves as life progresses, as time goes. It has to evolve, as it can't stay stuck in the old, antiquated times. It has to be not just with those teachings, but also the teachings and the understandings that we these days, as new generations, new era, times have changed. So things have to evolve. They can't stay the same, locked in the old ways, because in the old ways there wasn't a lot of things that today we have here, and things happening here. Anyway, advice number one: learn the primary 5 casts or castings of the Chamalongos. When I say the primary, is the regular, the yeses, the nos, the maybe so's, and so forth and so on. Meaning, learn Matuba. What does it say? Learn Budelele. What does that say? Learn Kisalu. What does that say? Learn Kufwa. What does that say? Learn Ensansa. What does that say? Once you in a couple of days, you should be able to know the names and know what these signs mean. They're just regular castings for yes, no. It depends on the Hama you in. You understand? They'll use certain ways to read them, and say Kisalu, 3 up, 1 down. I don't use it as yes, or I have to cast again. It's not how we use them. Other Hamas do. So that's what I'm saying. To each Hama, follow it to that extent. For the majority of times, those who are learning these type of binary systems, from the book of the Scrolls of Time, it has to be either 2 things. Once you have license from your elder to let you learn this system, or you're on your own. You understand? You're on your own and you're trying to learn a better way, or not a better way, but a way to speak and understand what the Inquisi, the Nganga is saying, and vice versa. You guys going back and forth. So those 5 primary signs should be really if you're into that, into learning binary, wanting to speak and have something to speak to, whether it's an Nkuyo, an Nganga, whatever, this is what you want to learn. You want to learn those 5 fundamental combinations. They give you yeses and nos. And like I said, if you use Kisalu, as you cast, it say yes, but no, you have to cast again. And if it comes out again, or it confirms or anything else, then it's a yes or no. It all depends. Then that's the way you guys do it. But you have to learn what are their names, and when they fall, the positions. Like which one is what, which one is Kisalu, which one is Kufua, which one is Nsansa, and so forth. Okay. Once you got that down pat, that you memorized that, then you want to start pulling out from the book. You want to start pulling out from the book. Let's say you want to learn Tia. Which sign is Tia when you have the 4 chamalongos, yamputos, whatever you want to call them, on the ground? So I would advise you to put them on the ground. Take the coconut shells, put them on the floor. Sit down on the floor and put them between your legs, the coconut, where you could see them, and put them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And start with whatever sign you want to start with. If you want to start with Kolamuka, start with Kolamuka. That's all of them are facing down, the back ends are facing up. Start with that. You understand? And you say that's Kolamuka. And you have to memorize it. That's Kolamuka. You understand? And you go from there. Kolamuka. Let's say you want to now you're gonna go with Tia. Then you face them all up and take the left side bottom one and flip it over. That's Tia. Flip Tia back up on the right hand side. Take the one on the right and flip it down. That's in Nyoka. And try to learn 5 positions. If you can learn 5 positions at a time. Don't go crazy trying to learn all of them, because you're going to get confused, especially with Kitoko, Mobembo. You're going to get confused. Elikia, you're going to get confused. Masa, you're going to get confused. Sekale and Sonsi, you're going to get confused. The simplest one is Sambia and Kolamuka. Sambia is all of them facing up, and Kolamuka, all of them facing down. You understand? So my advice is to start like this. Take a couple. What I usually do, right? When I start, as soon as I started learning, I started getting index cards. Bought a stack of index cards from the dollar store, cheap. You understand? And I will write the binary sign, right? I would draw the binary sign and the name of that binary, of that code, that one binary. And I had them all 16 of them. Once I learned all 16 of them, then I grabbed, meaning that once you learn all 16 of them on the floor, see, it's not the same when you just grab the cards and look at them. It's not the same, because remember, the cards are one thing and the chamalongos being on the floor are another thing. You gotta remember that in the card, we're gonna have crosses and O's, right, and zeros. On the floor, you don't have no crosses. They all look like zeros. If you look at the circle, you want to look at it like a zero. They're all circular. So when you look at them on a card and then you look at them on the ground, you might get confused with the crosses. But you know that the crosses means the back side of the coconut. The zeros mean the top side of the coconut shell. You understand? But it does get confusing, because now you learn them on using the paper or notebook or the index cards, and now you want to go out on the floor and you're like, oh, wait a minute. And now you have to remember that those crosses or X's, people use them differently, and some people use them to mean different things. X and a cross means something different. But anyway, whichever way you write them for your understanding, boom, you learn that way. So I would advise you to put them on the ground, even with the index cards, and have somebody else, like you practice them, and have somebody else, like your wife, your daughter, your son, anybody from the crib, from the houses with you, that you could trust, grab the cards and ask you, what is Kolamuka? You know, what is Kongenga? You understand? What is Masa? You know, what is Muya? You know, Muya has two names, Kobongola and Muya for us. I'm saying for everybody. And so forth and so on. And then once you get proficient, right, that the person is calling them out to you, and you boom, 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 you flipping them, bang, bang, you know, and you learn. Now you got that down packed. Give me 1 second. Now you learn that like that. You see, you got to go step by step, little by little. It's not a race. It's a crawl to a walk. You understand? So as long as you take, it doesn't matter. You know, as long as you put your time in and you start trying to learn them. I'm still learning, and I'm always going to be learning. Like I said, it's something that you have to put your mind to, and you have to want to do it. And sometimes, like, you know, we're human beings, you know, we're like, we don't feel like doing it today. Well, don't do it. Practice another day, you understand? But try to make effort a couple of times of the week to sit down and just boom, 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 knock them out. Because if you learn them, right, if you learn them this week, right, all 16 of them, right, how they look on the ground, and you wait, and 3 or 4 weeks later, you go to pick them up, you're gonna forget. Not all of the positions of all the or all the binary symbols or signs, but you're gonna forget some of them. So you constantly gotta pick them up, especially if you're not always in the room, you know, and you're in Sokongo or wherever you have your things at. Especially if you're not consulting people, you know, at least 1 or twice a week. Yeah, you're gonna forget about it unless you keep doing it till it becomes muscle memory. Once it becomes muscle memory, it's like riding a bicycle. You'll just look at them and that's it. It'll just come to your mind real quick. These are just advices, right, that I'm giving an advice to those who are learning. You know, like I said, start with the 5 primary, the basic ones. You know, well, they're not basic. It's just that's how people start, the 5 primary. Then jump into learning the 16 codes, single codes. Once you got those down packed, right, that you know all 16, when they're on the ground, you can position all 16 of them, because you already know where they all go at, names and everything. Now, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is start with a sign that's double up. Meaning, let's say, Sambia, yes, Sambia. Get in the book, read what Sambia, yes, Sambia says. Get your index cards out. Write it down. Write down the most important thing the Nsambia in the book says. I'm not saying write the whole book. A sentence, a phrase, something that it speaks about. You understand? And you write it there. Now, when you cast Sambia, you remember that. What does Sambia say? And this is just for those who are starting, those who are new, those who are trying to learn this system. Within time, you're gonna develop more, and you're gonna add more things to these signs, and you're gonna keep on going. It ain't just what's written in the book. You know, the book is just something to get you started out. Okay, with an interpretation and an understanding that you can start with. Through the time, you're gonna add more things to that one binary code, or to all 16 binary code. You're gonna add stuff to it all over. So you get your index cards, you write Masa ye Masa or Sambia ye Sambia, and you write down in short the most important things of that sign, of what it speaks about. If it speaks about hard-headedness, being stubborn, also the sign speaks about hypertension or issues in the blood or anemic. Like, you write these important little key things, and little by little, you go to the other two ones that you want to choose. So if you're choosing, I'm all over the place, So we started with Zambia. Now let's say we go to Tia. Tia, yeah, Tia. Another in this card, write the binary sign, both binaries on the card. Tia, yeah, Tia, and then write the important things that Tia, yeah, Tia stipulates or is key, are the key points on that sign. And little by little, you'll start memorizing. Don't try to memorize everything unless you are young and you got a good memory, and you don't have much to do and you have the time to be there 24/7. You're gonna learn it real quick. But those of us that are a little bit, we got a life. And a lot of things plays against certain people depending of what they do in life, age, and a whole bunch of things. But anyway, that's my advice to you guys. Go little by little. Learn the 5 basic throws and readings, and then start with 1. Start learning the 16 positions of the coconut shelf on the floor. Once you got that, then you could look at them when you cast them on the ground, and you move them and you put them in a binary position. You know that sign means whatever it is. If it's Kongenga, Motali, Maladi, and Sonsi Sekele, all that. You understand? And then once you know all that, then you already got it memorized. Then you proceed. Now let me get all the doubled ups, meaning 2 of the same binary codes together. And you write that down, and you go to the next one that's together, doubled up. Write it down, and then learn those 16 doubled up binary codes. What they say, what they mean. You already know on the floor what it looks like. You understand? So, there's no need for you to buy 4 chamalongos to put 4 down on one side, 4 up on one side, 4 1 up on the other side for Zambia, because you can see both of them. No, you already know that Zambia is Zambia. So all we're talking about is Zambia twice. If you cast one time, Zambia comes out. Then you pick up and you ask the same thing or whatever it is, and you cast again, Zambia comes out again. Then those are the doubled up, and then you read it that way. My opinion only, just a little bit of advice. Just came in this morning just to give you guys a little bit of something. Nothing much. Rainy in Philadelphia, like always. Be safe, be blessed. Until next time.